Okay, good morning, everybody. Today's topic of discussion is about the fifth house. Okay, so today we'll be discussing about fifth house. What is fifth house? Fifth house is a trine. We know there are trines, that is first house, fifth house, and ninth house are called as trines. This fifth house will determine our future prospects based on the past life good deeds we have done. Okay, it also controls the middle age, and in the middle age it talks about knowledge, learning, children, love, affection, authority, power, and bhakti. Okay, now the natural fifth house as per the zodiac, if we take the Mesha Rashi, the fifth house will come to Simha Rashi. Okay, this is the natural fifth house, and the sun is the karaka of the fifth house. He owns the fifth house, right? Jupiter is also the natural fifth house significator. Okay, planets in the fifth house will have argala on the ascendant. Okay, and until unless more planets are obstructing this particular house, they can force the matter on the native. So any planets in the fifth house will directly have Argala on. Argala is nothing but a bolt. It is like a fixed activity. Okay. So it is like a fixed activity. So Argala is nothing but a fixed activity where a native has to do this activity irrespective of whatever the planets are placed in the fifth house. If some planet is placed in the fifth house, then that planet will determine what is the life around the middle age. Okay, so in general, the planet in the fifth house should not be an enemy to the ascendant. Otherwise, what will happen? The person will take very decisive action, will go to a wrong way. For example, let us say if Jupiter is in the ascendant, okay, and Rahu is in the fifth house, it can be quite disastrous because Rahu will always try to obstruct the Jupiter blessings. Instead of that, if you have Sun, Moon, and Mars, which are very favorable to the Jupiter, if these planets are placed in the fifth house, it is excellent. Now, we know that if a planet like Sun is placed in the fifth house, it will give few children, and it will not be beneficial for a female children. Instead, if the Venus is placed in the fifth house, okay, male children will be very beneficial, but mother will face problems during the pregnancy because the fifth house will become maraka for the mother, which is the fourth house. Moon is a Naisargika Matrukaraka. Okay, it also talks about the mother tongue and the motherland. Sun is the house of knowledge. It gives brilliance, creativity, imagination, and abilities. Okay, Mars in the fifth house can cause loss of children as it has got a Papa Argala on the seventh house. Got it? So, if I take the 11th house, which is fifth from the seventh, okay, there will be a fights in the family of the native, and the native will fight with the spouse. There is a possibility of a caesarean if Mars is placed in the fifth house. The native will become very impulsive, He will be. It will bring good results. Okay. If the fifth lord is having a Subha Argala, the fifth lord is having a Subha Argala on any other houses, it will give a positive influence. The houses aspected by the fifth lord, both by the planetary and the Rashi Drishti, shall give results during their dashas. The placement of the fifth lord from the moon and Jupiter should be examined for self and children respectively. For example, if the fifth lord from Lagna is placed in the second house from the moon sign, the native will be a good singer. If the said planet is a malefic and is connected with Mars and Mercury, there will be a diseases in the throat. So, the placement of the fifth lord from the moon sign is similarly viewed from the ascendant also. Fifth house and the fifth lord is very important for children. So, if there are planets in strength from the Jupiter, they can indicate the number and nature of the children. The placement of the fifth lord from Jupiter will indicate the extent of the gains from the children. So if you want to see gains from the children, we need to see the fifth lord from the Jupiter. Okay, we have to see the fifth lord from the Jupiter. If there is a more than one planet is there in the fifth house, we need to see the strongest of the planet and start reciting the mantra of that particular planet. If there are there are no planets occupying or aspecting this particular fifth house, then the mantra should be the Lord of the fifth house until and unless it has got a good relationship with the Lord of the Lagna. Otherwise, it can cause disaster. If the Lord of the fifth house does not have a good sambandha, that is relationship with the Lord of the Lagna, then the dispositor of the fifth house has to be taken into account. Okay. Similarly, if the fifth house, the reflection of the fifth house is called as mantrapa, that is A5. Okay. So during the periods of the planets having nothing to do with the fifth house or its lord or mantrapada, if the person is trying to give mantra of that particular planet, it will not work out. Okay. Natural benefic planets in the fifth house are not negative for children, even if they own malefic houses like 6th, 8th, and 12th houses. Okay. Similarly, natural malefic planets, if they're placed in the fifth house, they are not good for the happiness of the children, from the children. If the fifth house is owned by Venus or Moon, or it is aspected by Venus or Moon, many children will be born because Venus and Moon are Jala Tattva, and Jala Tattva is very important for the birth of the children. If instead the fiery elements are present, then remedial measures are necessary. If the fifth house is a Capricorn, let us say Kanya Lagna. If the Lagna is Kanya, the fifth house is Capricorn, and it is occupied by Saturn and Mars, then the native will have three daughters. Okay. If instead this combination is an Aquarius in the fifth house, that is for Tula Lagna, if the fifth house is Aquarius, the native will have five children, while in other houses the children will be denied. The combination of Saturn and Mars in any sign except Capricorn is damaging for the childbirth. Okay, if Jupiter is in the fifth house, there will be five sons, of which three will survive. If Jupiter is in the fifth house in the Pisces sign, that is for Vishtaka Lagna, very few children are seen. While a strong Jupiter in Sagittarius, which is a Mula Trikona of Jupiter, then children are obtained with difficulty. If Jupiter is even stronger by being in Cancer or Aquarius, in the fifth house, the children will be denied. This is based on the principle Karaka Bhava Nasaya. That means a natural significator placed in the fifth house damages the significances of that particular house. Okay. For any progeny, we have to see D7 chart. Okay. D7 chart is a chart related to the childbirth. In the Saptamamsa Chakra, if the fifth lord is exalted and Jupiter is very strong, children are denied. If the fifth house or the fifth lord in the D7 chart is associated with Mercury or Saturn, then there will be a denial of the children. If instead the Upapada or the seventh house or the Lord is associated with Rahu, the child could be due to marriage with a widow who's already had children from the first marriage. Okay, denial of the children can happen due to past karma. What is that karma? The karma can be due to the Brahmana Shapa, Pitru Shapa, Matru Shapa, Shatru Shapa. Okay. Suppose if Rahu is in Pisces or Sagittarius, okay, it is a curse from the past birth. If the Rahu is placed in the signs of Jupiter, which is Pisces and Sagittarius, we can say that it is because of the priest or a good astrologer. Jupiter should be conjoined or aspected by Mars or Saturn. Jupiter is debilitated in Capricorn, owned by Saturn, and exaltation of Mars. So these planets aspecting Jupiter can block the fruits of Jupiter, which is children. Similarly, the ninth lord should not be in the eighth house to confirm the curse. If this condition is fulfilled, remedial measures will help the native to get children. Sun, Moon, or Jupiter as the fifth lord, if placed in the eighth house with malefics, okay, there will be a denial of children. If Jupiter is in the fifth house and is aspected by the sixth lord, okay, or the sixth lord is in association with the fifth lord, okay, this is a curse of a Brahmin. Saptamamsa Chakra is the final authority to give children or not to give children. If Saturn, Venus, and Mercury are in the trines, that is 1, 5, and 9 in the Saptamamsa Chakra, the child, the native will not have children, even though they are yogas in the birth chart, that is D1 Chakra. If the Lagna of the Saptamamsa Chakra is rising in the odd or even sign, okay, depending upon the Lagna rising, the counting of the pregnancies are taken either direct or indirect. Suppose the Lagna of the Saptamamsa is rising in an odd sign. What is odd sign? Mesha is an odd sign. Then Vrishabha is an even sign. The same way, odd, even, odd, even, odd, even, like 12 signs. Okay. So if the Lagna is rising in an odd sign, okay, then the first pregnancy has to be seen in the fifth house. The second pregnancy has to be seen in the seventh house. The third pregnancy in the ninth house. And the fourth pregnancy in the 11th house. If it is an even sign, the first pregnancy has to be seen in the ninth house, the second pregnancy in the seventh house, the third pregnancy in the fifth house, and the fourth pregnancy in the third house. The sex of the pregnancy, whether it is a male or a female, it has to be seen from the lord of the sign ruling the sign of the house of the pregnancy. If suppose a planets like Sun, Rahu, Jupiter, and Mars are controlling a male sign and a male child is born. If it is Moon, Ketu, and Venus, then it is a female children. If the Lord of the fifth house, the Lord of the house ruling the pregnancy is neither exalted or debilitated, it is neither Ucha or Nicha, nor it is conjoining other planets, then the sex of the child is seen from the nature of the sign occupied by it. So all odd signs except Aquarius and Gemini are of male sign, male birth sign, while all even signs except Cancer and Pisces are female birth signs. Okay, so for the male birth, Aries, Cancer, Leo, Libra, Sagittarius, and Pisces. For female, it is Taurus, Gemini, Virgo, Scorpio, Capricorn, and Aquarius. Right? The controlling houses for a male chart is the fifth house, while the female chart it is a ninth house. So if I see a male chart, I have to see the fifth house. If I'm seeing a female chart, I see the ninth house in the Saptamamsa Chakra, not in the Rasi Chakra. So if there is Dasha, Antardasha is operating in a male sign and it is placed in the sixth house, then childbirth is denied. In the same way, if there is a planet in the 10th house in a female chart and the Antardasha of that particular